He carefully parted her torn blouse and began rhythmic chest compressions. The acrid scent of burning gasoline grew heavier in the air. "Dad!" His son's voice broke with fear. "The car's about to explode." Jack's gaze darted to the rising smoke, then returned to her ashen face. "Not now! I won't abandon her." A cough emerged, faint yet significant. "Someone help me! She's not breathing." The man's desperate cry pierced through the mayhem, his trembling hands cradling the woman's motionless form against his chest. Tendrils of smoke spiraled upward from the mangled Mercedes, its hood crumpled against the ancient oak. Before we continue with this tale, please share in the comments section where you're joining us from. We would be delighted to hear from you. Let's proceed. Shattered glass ground beneath his boots as he dropped to his knees, gently shaking her. Behind him, his young son pressed against their weathered pickup truck, eyes wide with terror. The man's shirt hung in tatters, his forearms streaked with blood that wasn't his own. He placed 2 fingers against her throat. A weak pulse flickered there. "Stay with me," he whispered, his voice tight with strain. In that instant, she appeared delicate and vulnerable, nothing like the commanding presence whose portrait regularly adorned corporate publications. But Jack remained unaware of this. To him, she was simply a stranger in dire need. She drew a ragged breath, her eyelids fluttering apart as bewilderment filled her gaze. "You're secure now," Jack assured her, gathering her into his arms and rushing toward his vehicle. The boy quickly moved aside, creating space. They raced toward the medical center, ambulance sirens wailing in their wake. Midway through the journey, she murmured, "Why? Why are you rescuing me?" Jack glanced down at her, his brow creased with concern. "Because you required help, nothing more." Her eyes drifted closed once more. At the medical facility, pandemonium transformed into precision. Medical staff surrounded them. Jack stood uncertainly in the corridor, his son's fingers clutched in his own. When a physician finally appeared, relief washed over Jack's weathered features. "She's stabilized," the doctor announced. She'll wished to express her gratitude. Yet when Jack peered into her room, she was encircled not by loved ones, but by imposing men wearing dark business attire. Security! They regarded Jack with suspicion until she noticed him. "Stop!" Her voice, still hoarse, sliced through the mounting tension. "That's him. That's the man who rescued me." The suited man stepped back with obvious reluctance. She observed Jack intently for several moments. "Are you aware of my identity?" she inquired. Jack lifted his shoulders slightly. "Not particularly." Her mouth curved into the faintest smile. "Victoria Hale, Chief Executive Officer of Hale Enterprises." The name carried no significance for Jack, though the bodyguard seemed to anticipate reverence. Instead, Jack nodded once. "Glad to know you'll recover." He pivoted to depart, his son following close behind. Days elapsed. Jack resumed his routine existence, rising before daybreak, mending fences, transporting feed for the ranch. The world continued its relentless pace despite his act of pulling a stranger from a burning vehicle. But for Victoria, that pivotal moment lingered persistently. She instructed her assistant to locate him. The findings were stark. Jack Miller, 36 years old, widowed, former Marine, operates a modest ranch, raises his son single-handedly, struggling to maintain the property after his wife's devastating medical expenses. Her chest constricted as she absorbed the details. This man had endangered his own life for her without a moment's hesitation, and was silently waging his own private wars. 7 days later, a sleek black SUV navigated up Jack's dirt-covered driveway. Victoria emerged, her refined appearance strikingly incongruous against the weathered barn and scattered chickens. Jack waited on the porch, arms folded across his chest. "Your visit wasn't necessary," he stated. "It was," she responded quietly. Because I failed to properly acknowledge what you did. You're breathing. That's acknowledgement enough. She paused, taking in the flaking paint on the house, the mended denim on the boys standing nearby. Jack, you preserved my life, and I cannot simply disappear knowing what I understand now. His jaw clenched visibly. I have no interest in charity. This isn't charity, she declared with conviction. It's appreciation and perhaps a measure of fairness. Her history emerged in scattered pieces. She revealed that the collision hadn't been accidental. A competing corporation had been attempting to intimidate her into abandoning a deal worth billions. The brake system in her vehicle had been deliberately sabotaged. Her survival was possible only because destiny, or perhaps divine intervention, had positioned Jack on that particular road. Jack's expression grew somber. And you're returning to that conflict? Yes, she affirmed. But I no longer battle alone. Weeks transformed into months. Victoria honored her commitment. She didn't merely issue a payment. She discovered methods to assist Jack without damaging his dignity. She introduced him to buyers who offered equitable prices for his cattle. She secured veterans assistance programs to fund ranch improvements. She even provided his son with a scholarship to an exclusive academy, presenting it as a community service initiative. Jack initially resisted, but gradually his defenses dissolved. He recognized she wasn't attempting to control him. She was endeavoring to repay something beyond monetary value. The shift in dynamics occurred subtly. One evening, Victoria received an urgent call. The rival corporation had escalated their tactics, now targeting her family members. Without delay, Jack climbed into his truck, mobilizing former Marine comrades to safeguard her property. It was Jack who maintained vigil at her entrance throughout the darkness, who confronted the men dispatched to threaten her. By morning, the danger had passed, and Victoria comprehended fully. She possessed unlimited financial resources. But Jack commanded something more precious, unwavering loyalty that couldn't be purchased. Months afterward, at an elegant charity function, Victoria approached the podium. Camera flashes illuminated her path. She searched the assembly until she located him standing toward the rear in an ill-fitting formal suit, his son beside him. Many of you recognize me as an entrepreneur, she began. But this evening, I wish to speak about a man who transformed my existence. She recounted the accident, the rescue, the understated heroism. Then she continued, her voice unwavering. Jack Miller is the reason I stand before you, not merely alive, but fundamentally changed. He demonstrated that true wealth lies in the bravery and compassion of everyday individuals. The entire room rose in unison. Thunderous applause filled the space. Jack's son gazed up at him with gleaming eyes. That's my father. One never knows whose life they might preserve, or how that person might preserve theirs in return. If this narrative moved you, please remember to appreciate the video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comment section.